Warning. Warning. The following program depicts exercises which, depending upon your physical condition, may be hazardous to your health.
Welcome back to another episode of Audio Charm Podcast. I'm your host, Adria, and today we have a very, very special guest, one that I wanted on this show for a long time, who has been making waves underground with his comments and with his particular style of understanding business. Let's welcome Mr. Smiles, CEO.
Thank you, Adria, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. I'm also very intrigued to see where we're going on this, especially when like minds come together. They could create something very unique. Let's have fun.
Yes, let's have some fun. I want to introduce you to the audience by sharing some of my thoughts about you, and you can fill in the rest on why you have a particular style of understanding business, which most experts seem to overlook. For example, your idea of Disney, you said Disney is a modern day run company. It is not run in the normal sense of what a business should be run. Can you explain what that means?
Sure, no problem. Modern day companies have a shell, the appearance of being a well-run machine. But that is anything but the case. They are not run like the old school style of business. What makes Disney run differently from when Walt Disney started the business was the business was focused strictly on business. That means the company produces a product, the product then is sold to a general customer, and the customer buys that, and then the business then becomes profitable. You see, Disney now is run emotionally, not profitably. For example, picking a fight with Florida over certain rules that had nothing to do with business, more of a cultural aspect rather than a monetary one. This is ridiculous. And it put them in deep water, and they're still trying to tread from that mistake. You don't have to look far to see this emotionally run dysfunction at this company. Just take Rachel Zegler, for example. There was no one in a position of power to say that this girl was a walking disaster. There was no one in a position of power to have an analytical mind to say we shouldn't change the very essence of a movie that had got us to the point where we are now. The reason why is because they are not run in a systematic, orderly way. They are mixed with a high dose of emotion. There is a high concentration of ego, and mixed in there is a profitable idea of what they want. That mixture is combustible, and it could be seen what it was going to produce in the end. Emotionally run corporations now produce fruit that eventually destroy all those who invest in it.
Oh, you are so right. I'd never really thought about it that way before. And this also explains the 2019 campaign by Gillette when they started to produce this negative campaign against toxic masculinity. We see how that turned out. It affected their bottom line tremendously that they had to reverse. Is that part of the emotionally run companies you're talking about?
You're right. That's a great example of an emotionally run company. Why did they even contemplate this? Why did they green like this? This is an emotionally charged decision, not a strategic business decision. Because look at the outcome. Their bottom line is affected. Their reputation is affected. They lost customers to their competitors. It was a disaster. These emotionally run companies dominate the landscape, and they are disasters in the waiting because of the instability of the emotions that run them, because they're not run in the right manner as like they should be. Profit driven, not emotional driven.
Oh my goodness, it explains so much, and I learned so much by listening to you. It is truly an honor and amazing to hear this. When we were discussing with each other at lunch, we were talking about the volatility of the market. It seems to be this mood swings, bipolar like reaction to any sort of news that comes at it. Investors, even seasoned investors, seem to have a hard time to know where to put their money in a safe harbor. Is this part of the emotional dominating companies have taken a foothold in the market? Is this what's causing the mood swings that we see?
Yes, for the most part, that's what you're seeing. Let me be clear. There's always an emotional element to every investment that somebody does. But those emotions should never take forefront, and they should never cloud your judgment for making a rational decision, especially when it comes to money. The market right now, and what we're seeing, is that it is dominated by companies that are emotionally driven first. They are concerned with their own emotional agenda, concerned with certain cultural aspects, all of which undermines and rots the ability to conduct and assess a business decision under a strict profit-driven mentality. This is why they have this instinctual animalistic reaction, whether negative or positive, when anything that comes out of the administration sends them into a tizzy. They are not moored onto something stronger than just emotions. And that's why you have this volatility.
It makes so much sense, and it is so clear. It's obvious. I didn't see it before. I'm sure you will come up with some sort of algorithm to point out emotional companies and treat them as a pariah. But before we go, I want to ask you, what do you think the biggest issue now that's facing the economy in the West is? What do you think that problem is?
I would say a word that you won't hear in the economic circles on the mainstream at all, really. And I would say that word is stagnation. Stagnation is one of the biggest worries and concerns that I see in business, especially those who concern with profit. We have become stagnant, both innovatively, and we have become stagnant sociologically. And both of these have big implications for society as a whole and the market as a whole. And sociologically, stagnation has been destroying us from inside. You see this irrationale where we are constantly at each other's throats for sociological reasons because we are stagnant now. There is nothing for us to concentrate on from an outside perspective except now we turn within. And the enemy now is within. It's the other side. And this particular problem affects business because now business, instead of focusing on profit, they now take up sides on the culture wars. And that's what you see. This is all a part of stagnation. And stagnation has steps. First, atrophied, then rot. This is the process of it. And I see this as one of the biggest problems we're facing economically.
And with that understanding, it's hard not to agree with you on that because you see this internal aggression towards each other all this time, this combative energy that we're always at each other's throats. This this almost decay you see in civility that we once had, our parents had, our grandparents had. And I have to agree with you because I went to a movie the other day and I thought it was the same movie I saw maybe 10 years ago because it was the same premise, the same idea, just rehashed or rewrapped in a different package, but it was the same gift. So I agree with you 100% that stagnation is going to be a big problem, and maybe it is right now. Well, thank you, Mr. Smiles, for being here. Mr. Smiles, CEO. We're going to have again more discussions later because I really enjoy our discussions whenever he's here. Thank you once again, Mr. Smiles, for coming on to Audio Charm Podcast.